Monday mornings were bad enough on Earth, but Monday mornings on Kepler 442 billion were a special kind of cosmic joke. Maya Rodriguez stood ankle-deep in purple swamp water, glaring at her malfunctioning spectrometer like it had personally insulted her mother. "Really, Newton? This is what my doctorate got me." Standing in alien muck, cataloging moss variations for bureaucrats who probably can't even pronounce xenobotany. Her AI companion responded with his usual synthetic cheerfulness. "Dr. Rodriguez, I believe the proper term is astrobotanical survey specialist, and according to my records, you specifically requested assignment to uninhabited worlds to avoid, and I quote, dealing with idiotic humans and their stupider politics." Yeah, well, past Maya was an optimist. Present Maya wants to strangle past Maya. She kicked at a particularly stubborn clump of bioluminescent moss. And this morning my coffee maker exploded, my shower dispensed what I can only describe as caffeinated sludge, and now my equipment's having an existential crisis. The spectrometer beeped pathetically and displayed error 404, science not found. "Oh, come on." Maya smacked the device. "You're a 15,000 credit piece of military-grade tech, and you're giving me internet memes?" "Perhaps if you hadn't modified my humor subroutines," Newton suggested innocently. "That was one time, and you were being insufferably earnest about safety protocols." Maya sloshed through the swamp toward another moss cluster. Besides, a little personality never hurt anyone. The landscape around her looked like someone had mixed a Georgia swamp with a Lisa Frank fever dream. Purple water reflected twin suns through crystalline trees, while moss in 17 different shades of blue carpeted everything that stayed still long enough. It was beautiful in an alien postcard sort of way, but beauty didn't make standing in it for 6 hours any less miserable. "Dr. Rodriguez, my sensors indicate unusual atmospheric pressure changes. Perhaps we should return to base camp." "Your sensors probably need calibration too." Maya bent over another moss sample, her collection kit dangling from her belt. "Everything on this planet needs calibration, including my life choices. I could have been teaching botany to bored undergrads, grading papers, dealing with academic politics. Or instead, I'm here talking to an AI who thinks he's a comedian and collecting samples of space moss for people who'll probably file my reports under M for mostly irrelevant." Maya's therapeutic complaining session was interrupted by something that definitely wasn't supposed to exist on an uninhabited planet, splashing. And not the gentle, look at me being all peaceful and natural kind of splashing. This was panic splashing, the kind that universally meant someone was having a very bad day in water they didn't want to be in. "Newton, please tell me that's just some kind of, I don't know, space beaver or something equally non-sentient, and definitely not an undiscovered alien species that would require me to fill out 17 different first contact forms." "I'm afraid I cannot confirm the existence of space beavers, Dr. Rodriguez. However, my audio analysis suggests a creature in distress approximately 30 meters downstream." Maya looked toward the sound and immediately spotted the problem. A small furry something was being swept along by the current, 6 limbs flailing desperately while making sounds that were distinctly not happy. The creature was about the size of a large house cat, if house cats had crystalline fur that shifted colors and way too many eyes. "Oh, you've got to be kidding me." "Dr. Rodriguez, I must advise against any intervention. Protocol 7 Alpha clearly states that unauthorized contact with potentially sentient species requires immediate consultation with the Galactic Science Council, the Department of Interspecies Relations, and at least 3 forms of legal documentation." "Yeah, well, Protocol 7 Alpha can kiss my botanical credentials." Maya dropped her sample kit and started wading toward the river. "I'm not watching something drown while bureaucrats debate paperwork. This is highly irregular and potentially career-ending." "Newton, my career is currently defined as professional moss bother on a planet where nothing interesting ever happens. How much worse could it get?" Maya reached the riverbank just as the current swept the creature past her. Without thinking too hard about the numerous ways this could go wrong, she dove in. The water was shockingly cold and tasted like somebody had dissolved a chemistry set in it. Maya's swimming skills, never Olympic caliber to begin with, were severely challenged by her waterlogged research gear and the fact that alien rivers apparently had their own opinions about which direction constituted downstream. To your left, Dr. Rodriguez. No, your other left. The creature is exhibiting signs of hypothermia. Thanks for the play-by-play, Maya gasped, fighting the current. Really helpful. She managed to grab the drowning alien just as they both went over a small waterfall. Maya hit the deeper pool below with all the grace of a falling piano, but somehow managed to keep hold of her unwilling passenger. The creature immediately thanked her by sinking all 6 sets of claws into her arm. Oh. Okay, I get it, you're scared, but I'm trying to help here. The alien made chittering sounds that could have been anything from gratitude to threats of violence. Maya dragged them both to shore, where she collapsed on the bank like a soggy scarecrow while the creature shook itself off and fixed her with what she assumed was a suspicious glare from its 4 eyes. Well, she panted, this is either going to be the best or worst thing that's ever happened to my career. The alien cub, because it was clearly young despite being the size of a terrestrial predator, tilted its head and made a sound that was almost like purring. Then it tried to bite her hand. Definitely the worst. Maya was attempting to apply first aid to her new claw marks when the forest decided to announce that her day was about to get significantly more complicated. A howl echoed through the crystalline trees, followed by another, then another, until the entire jungle sounded like a very large, very unhappy pack of something was headed her way. Newton, please tell me those are just really big space birds. Negative, Dr. Rodriguez. Audio analysis suggests multiple large terrestrial predators approaching fast. The alien cub perked up at the sounds and began chittering excitedly, its crystalline fur shifting from silver to bright gold. It was clearly calling for help, which meant Maya was about to meet its family. In her experience, alien families were probably just like human families, except with more teeth and fewer inhibitions about using them. Right, so hypothetically, what's the protocol for accidentally rescued alien baby, and now the parents are coming to either thank me or eat me? Page 417 of the First Contact Manual suggests maintaining a non-threatening posture while preparing for immediate evacuation. Great. How do I look non-threatening while soaking wet and bleeding? Before Newton could offer more helpful advice, the forest exploded with movement. 8 creatures emerged from the tree line, and Maya's first thought was that someone had crossed wolves with Aurora Borealis and given the result anger management issues. The aliens stood 8 feet tall on powerful hind legs, with elongated snouts full of what were definitely not herbivore teeth. Their fur rippled with bioluminescent patterns that shifted from deep blue to electric purple, and each one had multiple tails that moved independently, like furry mood rings with attitude. They were absolutely beautiful and absolutely terrifying, which seemed to be a running theme on this planet. The largest one, whose bioluminescent patterns suggested it was either the leader or the angriest, stepped forward. Its eyes, larger and more numerous than the cub's, fixed on Maya with an intensity that made her very aware of how far she was from her emergency beacon. Okay, Maya said, raising her hands slowly. I know this looks bad, but I was just trying to help. Your kid was drowning, and I thought, basic decency and all that. The leader made a sound like wind chimes in a hurricane, and suddenly all 8 adults dropped to the ground in what was unmistakably a bow. Maya blinked. Newton, are they bowing to me? It appears so, Dr. Rodriguez. My xenocultural database is updating rapidly. These appear to be Zephyrians, a species previously theoretical. And according to preliminary translation protocols, you may have just triggered something called the debt of storms. The leader raised its head and spoke, the words flowing like music. Newton's translation came a moment later. Honored one, you have saved the life of our pack's future. By ancient law, you are now bound to us as we are bound to you. You are pack leader, Stormcaller, honored above all others. Maya looked down at the little cub, who was now rubbing against her leg like the world's most exotic house cat. I'm sorry, what now? An hour later, Maya found herself in the most surreal situation of her life, which was saying something considering her morning had started with exploding coffee makers and ended with accidental alien diplomacy. The Zephyrian leader, who had introduced himself as Thane Stormclaw through Newton's increasingly sophisticated translation matrix, was explaining the finer points of interspecies politics while leading Maya through a hidden path in the crystal forest. So let me get this straight, Maya said, stepping carefully over roots that glowed like fiber optic cables. Your people have been watching human researchers for months, waiting for the right moment to make contact, and my terrible swimming skills accidentally fast-tracked the whole process. The dead of storms is not about swimming skills, honored Maya, Thane replied, his voice carrying amusement even through translation. It is about the courage to act when others need help, regardless of personal risk. This is the mark of true pack leadership. But I'm not a leader. I'm a botanist. I study plants. My biggest management challenge is keeping my AI from developing a god complex. I resent that characterization, Newton interjected through her comm unit. They emerged into a clearing that made Maya stop dead in her tracks. What she had assumed was a natural crystal formation was actually a city. Spires of living crystal grew from the ground, their surfaces carved with intricate patterns that pulsed with soft light. Zephyrian architecture flowed like frozen music, all curves and harmony, but making human buildings look like someone had given construction equipment to toddlers with abandonment issues. Okay, that's actually incredible, Maya admitted. How long have you been building this? 3,000 years, give or take a century, said a new voice. Maya turned to see an elderly Zephyrian approaching, their fur more silver than the others, bioluminescent patterns dim but steady. I am Elder Whisperwind, keeper of pack memory and grudging tolerator of hasty decisions. The elder's tone suggested they had opinions about Maya's sudden elevation to pack leadership. Elder Whisperwind has been observing your species for longer than anyone, Thane explained. She insisted we wait until humans proved themselves worthy of contact. And what exactly would have proven us worthy? Maya asked, though she suspected she didn't want to know the answer. Elder Whisperwind's laugh sounded like wind through crystal chimes. Child, we have watched your researchers for months. We have seen them destroy sampling sites for convenience, lie in reports to avoid paperwork, and debate whether our cub's footprints constituted a discovery worth reporting or a problem worth hiding. Maya winced. That sounded about right for human bureaucracy. But you, the elder continued, jumped into dangerous water to save a stranger. No hesitation, no calculation of benefit, no concern for regulations. That is the heart of true leadership, the courage that binds packs together across the stars. Great, so I'm humanity's accidental ambassador because I have poor impulse control and can't stand watching things suffer. Precisely, Elder Whisperwind said with satisfaction. Though I suspect this arrangement will complicate your life considerably. Maya looked around at the crystal city, at the Zephyrians watching her with respectful curiosity, at the cub who had started following her like an imprinted duckling. You know what? Complicated might be exactly what I needed. Maya's crash course in interspecies relations was interrupted by the distinctive sound of human spacecraft entering atmosphere. The sleek lines of Galactic Science Council ships descended through the purple sky like mechanical vultures, their sensor arrays no doubt picking up every unauthorized alien contact signature she was currently broadcasting. Well, Maya said, watching the ship circle the crystal city, I was wondering when the cavalry would arrive to ruin everything. Thane's bioluminescent patterns shifted to deep red, which Newton helpfully translated as extreme annoyance with a side of barely contained violence. These are your pack leaders? Thane asked. More like middle management with delusions of grandeur, Maya replied. Newton, please tell me there's some regulation I can hide behind here. I'm afraid, Dr. Rodriguez, that unauthorized first contact generally results in immediate detention, extensive debriefing, and career termination. On the positive side, you'll have fascinating stories to tell at unemployment meetings. The lead ship landed with typical human subtlety, which is to say it scared every small creature in a half-mile radius and left scorch marks on the crystal grass. The ramp lowered with a hydraulic hiss, and out stepped Commander Brass, a man whose personality could be accurately described as military regulations with legs. Dr. Rodriguez. Commander Brass marched toward them with his usual collection of armed personnel and recording equipment. You are in violation of First Contact Protocol 7 Alpha, Unauthorized Alien Interaction Statute 15.7, and probably several dozen other regulations I'll think of later. Step away from the specimens immediately. Maya felt Thane's growl rumble through the ground before she heard it. The other Zephyrians began surrounding the human landing party, their patterns shifting to combat colors that painted the crystal city in angry rainbows. Commander, Maya said carefully, I'd like to point out that these aren't specimens. They're sentient beings with their own civilization, and they're currently deciding whether humans are worth talking to or whether they should just eat us and save time. Irrelevant. All alien contact must be processed through proper channels. Commander Brass gestured to his team, secure the area, and prepare the aliens for transport. That was apparently the wrong thing to say. Every Zephyrian in sight bared their teeth, and their combined growl made the air itself vibrate. Maya quickly stepped between the two groups before someone did something diplomatically unfortunate. Actually, Commander, there's been a slight development in the chain of command here. Maya pulled out her research credentials and held them up like a shield. As senior xenobotanist on this expedition, I'm declaring this entire area a protected research site under Council Regulation 23.9. That gives me authority over all scientific personnel and specimens in this location. Commander Brass's face went through several interesting color changes. You can't just declare a research site, Rodriguez. There are procedures, forms, committees. Already filed, Commander. Newton's voice crackled through Maya's comm with suspicious cheerfulness. I took the liberty of submitting all necessary paperwork 3 minutes ago. Dr. Rodriguez's authority as senior scientist on site supersedes military command in matters of xenobiological research. Maya grinned. Thanks, Newton. I knew there was a reason I upgraded your personality matrix. Elder Whisperwind approached slowly, her ancient eyes bright with what Maya was learning to recognize as Zephyrian amusement. Your pack dynamics are fascinating, Maya Stormdaughter. Tell me, do all human leaders solve problems by arguing about papers? Only the smart ones, Maya replied. The rest just shoot things and hope for the best. 3 hours later, Maya sat in the Crystal City's council chamber, watching Commander Brass try to process the fact that his primitive alien specimens had just demonstrated technology that made human science look like finger painting. The turning point had come when Splash, the cub Maya had rescued, had gotten curious about her broken spectrometer and fixed it by humming at it for 30 seconds. So, Commander Brass said weakly, they repair complex electronics through sonic manipulation. Among other things, Elder Whisperwind replied through Newton's translation. We have been part of the Galactic Confederation for over 2 millennia. Your species is new to us. Maya watched the commander's worldview reshape itself in real time. The Galactic Confederation? Think of it as the United Nations, but for species that have figured out how to play nicely with others, Maya explained helpfully. And apparently humanity just got a chance at membership, assuming we don't mess it up by treating our new friends like lab specimens. Thane stepped forward, his patterns now displaying what Newton translated as formal diplomatic proposal. The Zephyrian Pack offers humanity alliance and technological exchange under the leadership of Maya Stormdaughter, who has proven herself worthy of trust. You can't seriously expect us to conduct interstellar diplomacy through a botanist, Commander Brass protested. I don't know, Maya said, scratching Splash behind what might have been ears. I think I'm warming up to the idea. Better than cataloging moss, anyway. Elder Whisperwind's laugh echoed through the crystal chamber. The pack has chosen Commander Brass. Maya saved our future leader and earned her place among us. Your species will be judged by how you honor that choice. Maya looked around the council chamber at the assembled Zephyrians, at the technology that casually violated half the laws of physics, at little Splash, who was now trying to improve her tablet by humming at it. For the first time in years, she felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. Newton, she said, cancel my transfer request. I think I'm going to like it here. Acknowledged Dr. Rodriguez. Though I should point out that your new position as interstellar diplomat comes with significantly more responsibility than Moss research. Yeah, but the benefits package is incredible. Alien technology, a crystal city, and a pack of space wolves who think I'm awesome. Plus, Splash just upgraded my tablet to do things that probably shouldn't be physically possible. Commander Brass looked like he was developing a migraine. This is highly irregular. Commander, Maya said, standing up with all the authority of someone who had accidentally talked their way into the most important job in human history, irregular is my specialty. Besides, somebody has to make sure humanity doesn't embarrass itself on the galactic stage. Might as well be the person who's already proven she can dive into alien rivers and come out with new friends. Vane's patterns shifted to warm gold, which Newton translated as deep satisfaction and pack bonding. Maya's storm daughter speaks wisdom. The Zephyrian pack welcomes humanity to the greater community of worlds under her guidance. Maya grinned, watching Splash successfully convince her tablet to display a holographic map of local space. You know what? This might actually be the best Monday I've ever had.